Miss Fine would like a word with you, sir.
Oh, really? Where is she?
I'm up here.
What's that?
That's the nanny.
Hey, the lady in red. The fellas are crazy about the lady in red.
Hello, my dear viewers. Today we are diving into the world of one of the most iconic characters of the 90s, Fran Fine from The Nanny. And if you are my age or a bit younger or older, you have probably watched that show and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Fran's over-the-top style, her confidence, and especially her body language, her feminine movement and facial expressions really made her stand out. And it was her whole persona, from her gestures to the way she walks and sways her hips and sits and positions herself. This is all incredibly captivating and very feminine in a very playful way. And playfulness is another type or aspect of femininity that is very alluring and attractive. In this video we are going to break down all these aspects, focus on Fran's walk, movement, especially on her facial expressions and on her gestures, because that was a big part of her. And I will share the tips so that you can achieve the same irresistible charm in your own life. So let's get into it. Hello my dear viewers, as you see I have incorporated a little bit of a more flamboyant style today to honor our beautiful Fran Fine, who also was very flamboyant in her style, but at the same time very feminine. Now if you like these kind of videos and like to be inspired by wonderful women and how they moved and walked, I recommend you to watch my other two videos about the walk of Marilyn Monroe and the body language of Monica Bellucci. And also subscribe and hit the bell, because more of such videos will come, and you can also participate in voting for your favorite woman that you would like to learn from. So let's start with the walk. The walk of Fran Fine in The Nanny is only one aspect of her whole, expressive and feminine way, but it is an important aspect, and that's what we're also going to cover it here. So Fran Fine had a stride that was in equal parts confident and sassy. And maybe you remember, if you've watched my video about the 4 walking style archetypes that I have developed, it is not so easy to fit Fran Fine's walking style into those 4, because I think that she has a very individual walking style that is a mixture of all of them. So let's take a close look and see what we can learn from her. Tip number 1, posture is key. So I have noticed that Fran always walked with her shoulders back and her head high, with a slight sway in her hips.
Show me the love, baby. You're switched on. You're smashing. I'll be.
This posture not only makes you look taller and more confident, but it also exudes femininity. So really practice walking with this confident posture. Always your chin up a little bit, pulled forward with a straight spine. And always imagine that the string is pulling you up from the top of your head so that you don't collapse. This makes a big part of Fran's walk. And then tip number 2, add some sway. So if you are already a subscriber and are watching my channel, you know that I have made a lot of videos about how to have feminine hip sway with many exercises. I will link all of them down below. But now let's look closer at the particular hip sway of Fran Fine.
How do I look?
Gorgeous!
But do you think the dress makes me look?
No!
Do you like what I did?
Yes!
Great.
Fran's walk was never stiff. It always had a fluidity which made her look relaxed and in control. To achieve this, you have to loosen up your hips and practice walking with a slight natural sway. It is subtle, but it makes a world of a difference in the way how you are perceived. So if I had to choose from the 4 walking styles that I described in my archetype video, I would choose the first one, the feminine and natural walking style, with a little bit of drama, so with a little bit of the femme fatale. But I think that Fran Fine, due to her playfulness, she always knew how to balance those elements. And of course, she was always wearing, or mostly wearing, tight clothes. So that also helped, of course, and it emphasized the subtle hip sway. I will show you what I mean. So just a very subtle hip sway is totally enough, because we will come to the other parts of her feminine expression and body language, which will underline all of that. But before we go on to chapter number 2, another important point that had to do with how she walked. And tip number 3, own the space. When Fran entered a room, she owned it. Walk with purpose when you enter a room and take deliberate steps. Not too fast and not too slow. Confidence is everything here. Think of your walk as an expression of your personality. Let it be bold and unmistakably you. And if you want to learn how to enter a room like a lady and in a confident and feminine way, I have some time ago made a video just about that. So I highly recommend you to watch that. I will link it down below. There you can learn more about owning the space when entering in a feminine way. And now we go on to chapter number 2. Gestures that speak volumes. Expressive and flirtatious gestures that Fran Fine used. So Fran Fine was a master in using her hands and arms and body to communicate. Her gestures were always big, bold, and perfectly in sync with her emotions.
I spent the night in jail because I did meet a lovely girl named Sparkle Plenty. She charges $20 to come to her party, too.
But why didn't you call?
Well, I did. I guess somebody was too busy shivering his timber.
Tip number 1 for you, expressive hands. Fran very often used her hands in order to emphasize what she was saying, whether she was excited or surprised or being dramatic. To channel this, don't be afraid to talk with your hands. And ladies who are already watching me, this is not about being sophisticated, subtle, and graceful. Here it is a different type of feminine personality, the playful, the expressive, the passionate one. And for those ladies who already have this inside of them, I want to show you that it is not bad. You don't have to suppress yourself. If you are expressive, you can use it in a feminine way and in a very charming way, like Fran Fine. So when you are telling a story and making a point, use your hands to illustrate it. This adds energy and also excitement in your conversations. Tip number 2, the flirtatious touch. Fran Fine had a way of lightly touching her face or her hair, or even the person that she was talking to. That was in a way playful and engaging. So a light touch of your hair or brush through, or gently brush someone's arm when you're talking to them will make your interactions feel much more intimate and charming. And tip number 3, for those of you who have long hair or more hair than I have, play with your hair. Fran's signature big, voluminous hair was often part of her gestures. So whether she was tossing it back or smoothing it down, it was always part of the action. So if you have longer hair or bigger hair, don't be afraid to play with it. And now we come to a point that is one of my favorites about Fran Fine's body language, her facial expressions. So one of her most endearing qualities were her animated facial expressions. She could go from a wide-eyed surprise to a knowing smirk in seconds. And it was always a delight to watch and so funny. We start with tip number 1. The big smile. Fran's smile was contagious. She often smiled wildly, showing her teeth, lightening up her entire face. Also practice smiling with your whole face. Don't be afraid of expressions. It makes you so beautiful and so alluring. Let your eyes crinkle and your cheeks move. A genuine big smile can make you appear much more approachable, friendly, and yes, absolutely charming. Tip number 2. Raised eyebrows and wide eyes. When Fran was surprised or shocked, her eyebrows would shoot up and her eyes would open up widely. This exaggerated expression is great for showing excitement, of surprise or disbelief in a playful way.
It's too humiliating.
Well, what could be so humiliating about being smaller in the locker room?
Don't be afraid to let your eyebrows do the talk sometimes. And I think I'm also using my eyebrows quite a lot. Well, that's just in my nature. But if it's not in your nature and you were always like insecure about facial expressions, I can tell you, just let it be. Tip number 3, the knowing look. So Fran often used a side eye or a sly smile to convey mischief or flirtation. Try raising one eyebrow side slightly while keeping your mouth in a slight, almost secretive smile. It's like saying, I know something you don't, and it's incredibly intriguing. Now we come to the body language of Fran Fine. It's about confidence in being in your own skin. Fran Fine's body language was always relaxed and confident, even when she was a bit over the top. She never seemed uncomfortable in her own skin, and that's a big part of her charm. Tip number 1, relax your shoulders. So always make sure to keep them relaxed. You can in between do some shoulder rolls and let them fall down. This will also improve your posture, and it will also give you the impression of ease and confidence. Tip number 2, lean in. When Fran was interested in a conversation, she would often lean in, making the interaction or the conversation feel more intimate and personal. This is a great tip for social situations. Lean in slightly when someone is talking to show that you are fully engaged and interested. And tip number 3, stand tall. So whether she was lounging on the Sheffield's couch or standing in the kitchen, Fran always maintained a good posture. So standing tall will not only make you look more confident, but it also helps you feel more confident. And her body language was all about confidence. And because this is such a big part of this playful femininity, I would recommend you to work on your confidence. And you can do a lot with body language. I have made videos about that already, and I will put them down below so that you can watch them and develop this specific part of you. And now we go on with chapter number 5. Finding your inner Fran. Practice and personalization. So now that we've broken down Fran Fine's signature movements, gestures and expressions, it is time to make them your own. The key is to practice these elements until they feel natural to you. And you can start with just incorporating maybe 1 or 2 of Fran's signature moves. And remember, it is not about copying Fran Fine entirely. It's not about imitating anyone, but it is about channeling her confidence and her playful femininity in a way that suits your personality and maybe enhances it. Maybe it is already inside of you, maybe not so much, but with these tips you can simply step into a more confident and playful version of yourself and explore this kind of femininity. So if you liked that video and it was helpful, give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch my next videos. I will see you there. Bye bye.